Let that be a lesson to you boys and girls. Don't ever argue with the big dog. Big dog is always right.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's the Big Jimmy Z. Well, it's not the Jimmy Z Show. It's the Jimmy Z Daily Commentary. Right here on YouTube. Oh, I hate this. I really do. I'm going crazy. I'm going through withdrawals because I can't say anything. I mean, I can't get into as many topics as I would like. I can't wait for the weekend because I've got so many things I want to discuss. And in fact, today I'm going to try an abbreviated version of the Jimmy Z Show Rapid Fire. It's actually going to be the Jimmy Z Daily Commentary Rapid Fire News and Commentary. Well, that I can't say that either. That doesn't make sense. Let's see. What am I going to call this? The Jimmy Z Daily Commentary Rapid Fire thing. Oh, yeah. All right, and just because you might be curious about why I have changed the entire way I do a show, I have accepted terms to work with a civil engineering firm, and I, didn't bring in enough money with the show because I'm not going to put a donate button on the website. I don't like that practice in the first place, and I don't think that it's opening yourself up to scrutiny by the IRS, so I don't want to do that. Anyway, so I'm going to be working with these people and doing stuff for money. I'm going to be whoring myself out for cash. Anyway, so real quick here, we've got to cover a couple of things. The movie Noah turns out to be a real stinker. And instead of the Bible story is that all of this sin and depravity and wickedness and immorality is the reason why God had had enough and he decided to wipe away all of this humanity. And he told Noah, you can build an ark and get all the animals on it. You know the story. But it was because of wickedness. In the movie, it's because the earth was being mistreated. It was something to do with environmentalism. That's my phone going off. Now, the first weekend, it made $48 million. But on the second weekend, revenue dropped 61% to $17 million and some change, which is a huge drop-off. So I don't think the movie's going to do too well. I think it cost $150 million to make, and then plus all of the promotion. And they had that movie on television and commercials for weeks before its release. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because Glenn Beck had something to say about Noah. And I want to play just a bit of that for you now.
Oliver Stone made JFK for a reason. He made that movie for a reason. To pump into the system the disinformation of the CIA. Now people look at that and say, that's got to be the real story. That's the real story, right? No, it's not the real story. That's not even anywhere close to the real story. But people view that movie as fact. This movie, if it becomes successful, if we take our churches and we all go and everything else, our children will look at that as being the Noah story. And no matter what you say, well, I'm going to talk to my children. I'm going to tell them that that's not really accurate in the Bible. They will believe this version over the version that mommy and daddy are telling them, or that old dusty Bible is telling them, because this one will come alive in their imagination. It is dangerous disinformation.
All right, that's Glenn Beck talking about the movie Noah. And technically, he's right. But he's coming from a different worldview than Christianity, because Glenn Beck is a Mormon. Glenn Beck is a member of the Mormon cult. Glenn Beck does not believe the Bible is 100% accurate, that the Bible was written by God and is without error. And so when Glenn Beck calls the movie Noah dangerous disinformation, there is nothing more dangerous and more disinformative than the Mormon cult that he is a part of. I want to read to you something that I wrote to Deborah J.M. Smith because this covers very well what I'm saying. So there's a video on YouTube, Glenn Beck talking about the movie Noah. He says that the movie is dangerous disinformation. First off, I was wrong about Noah. I thought it was going to be more biblical, but it turns out to be terrible. And I explained the same thing I just told you. And I explained the same thing I just told you about the movie being more focused on people harming the earth. And so God had to get rid of them. It's like, it really is. I was scoffing when some people wrote articles about how this was Noah as written by Al Gore. But it truly is. It could be Al Gore's movie. It could be an Inconvenient Truth Part 2. And so the movie does not set up the flood as the result of all the wickedness and evil and immorality. But of course, what would anybody expect of Hollywood? Seriously, Hollywood would never point out that God was not a fan of wickedness. But dangerous disinformation, that's the definition of his Mormon cult. There are few things more dangerous and more disinformative than Glenn Beck himself. Glenn Beck, the Glenn Beck Show, is dangerous disinformation. I'm no fan of his politics, but I really can't stand it when Glenn Beck is talking about God and Noah and the Bible. He doesn't even know the God of the Bible. And you see, the time is just way too short. So I'm going to have to cut it off here. We'll come back tomorrow and talk about Eric Holder. We'll come back tomorrow and talk about Eric Holder and his argument with Louis Gohmert. That was really something. And then I also want to talk about Eric Holder's idea that people should wear some kind of smart bracelet when they shoot their gun, when they use their gun for something, target practice or self-defense. You got to have that bracelet on before you can shoot your gun. And this is the guy who was part of setting up, the instrumental in setting up Fast and Furious. It's insane. Sean Hannity on the radio today called it madness. It is. It's utter madness. Anyway, I'll have another commentary tomorrow, and we'll have a big show on the weekend. Jimmy Z from the Left Coast. Bye-bye for now, everybody.